was Fatih Akin's new film Soul Kitchen, which wowed the audiences at the Venice Film Festival. We'll have more on that later, but first, welcome to Kino from Berlin. We start with a little Viking boy that's conquered Germany. His name is Wickie, and he's been a comic book and TV star for more than 30 years. Now Germany's most successful director has made a live-action film based on this clever little Viking who'd rather plan than pillage. It's called Vicky the Viking, and it's the #1 film in Germany.
Was? Du 3 Käse hoch willst einen eigenen Helm?
Ja, warum nicht? Ich will ja auch mal ein Wikinger werden. Da muss man früh anfangen.
Habt ihr das gehört?
Vicky the Viking has been a hit with children since the 1970s cartoon series. Now he's the hero of Michael Bully Herbig's feature film.
Abgemacht, die Wette gilt und wer sie bricht, der wird gegrillt.
Vicky, the little would-be Viking, has made a bet with his father. He wins using brains, not brawn.
That's the story about father and son.
Vicky's rarely at a loss for a clever idea, like when he shows his friend Ilvi how to fly. The movie was shot in Munich's renowned Bavaria Film Studios. Herbig, Germany's blockbuster machine, had a budget of over 10 million euros for this production. This lake in Bavaria provided the perfect scenery for the fjord where the Vikings set off on their great family-friendly adventure.
Schleicht sich der Bengel einfach so aufs Schiff. Und du hilfst ihm auch noch dabei.
Ich habe nur den Deckel aufgemacht.
Du sollst aber keine Deckel aufmachen.
Aber ich will doch nur Elvi retten.
Ein Wikingerschiff ist kein Kinderspielplatz.
Es ist eigentlich ein Abenteuerfilm.
It's basically an adventure film
Mit Gags.
with gags,
mit
emotion,
Emotionen,
beautiful
schöne
women,
Frauen,
and a surprise ending.
überraschenden Ende. Also das
Would you call that a genre?
geht das als Genre durch?
Genre or not, Bully Herbig's films have an unmistakable style all their own, and he's appeared in most of them. In a farcical western as an Apache chieftain with the manners of a Munich socialite.
Santa Maria, Ranger, Ranger, Santa Maria, Ranger, Hasi, Santa, Hasi, Häuptlingssohn vom Stamme der Schule.
As a campy cosmonaut in a science fiction parody.
Jetzt hört's halt auf, ich krieg ja gleich eine Stresspustel.
Or as the voice of an animated castle spook in the ghost story Huibu.
Siehst du das hier? Das ist meine Spuklizenz. Ich bin seit über 500 Jahren das einzig bürgerlich zugelassene Gespenst hier. Das war einmal.
And now, Vicky, a cartoon series retold as live-action adventure.
Oh, Mist.
Herbig cast some of his actors on a reality TV show, but he also cast big German stars like Jürgen Vogel as the stuttering pirate.
Wer war das? Das sage ich euren Eltern.
Pirates have raided the Viking village. Vicky is a prisoner of the terrible Sven, played by veteran German actor Günther Kaufmann.
Captain, wir haben das da gerade aus dem Meer gekriegt. Die kleine Wasserratte kommt auf wie gerufen, oder?
Okay.
Captain.
Das ist Halvarsson.
Oh, prima, ich freue mich.
Mir platzt gleich der Kragen.
Richtig, mir auch. Ich hab Sonnenhals.
Wie kann es sein, dass Halvarsson noch übrig ist? Ich sagte doch, wir brauchen alle Kinder.
Korrekt, ich bin entsetzt. Das ist wohl nicht ganz rund gelaufen, aber ich verspreche Ihnen, Captain, da werden Köpfe rollen.
Das will ich hoffen.
Es war einfach eine ganz tolle Geschichte.
The story is really good, like Hollywood. I've made films in Spain, I've made films with the Americans, and this one was managed like an American production. I have to say that's fairly rare today in German films.
When it comes to entertainment that's big at the box office, Herbig is possibly the best Germany has on offer. In his new film, he plays the narrator, a Spanish tabloid journalist.
Hängt es hier oben in der Turmspitze.
Ramon Martinez Concas vom Königlich Spanischen Dependencies. Unser Publikum fragt sich bestimmt, woher haben Sie diese heiße Information?
Ich hatte es mal als Wahlfach.
Ich habe nicht welche für Frauen mit Wahlfach.
Und da mir aber der Erzähler...
I found the narrator too boring, so I thought, okay, we'll turn him into a journalist. Spain and Portugal were big seafaring nations. That's how we got Ramon Martinez Congas from the Royal Spanish News Agency. Let me try that again.
Und so entstand
That gave us Ramon Martinez Concas from the Royal Spanish News Agency.
Diese Reaktion ist völlig normal.
Bully Herbig just can't stop clowning around. But with Vicky the Viking, Herbig has successfully shifted genres from silly but sophisticated parody to family-friendly adventure comedy. This Viking extravaganza manages to exude childish curiosity and plenty of wholesome fun.
German films were a hit at this year's Venice Film Festival, especially co-productions. Women Without Men, an Iranian story from an Iranian director, produced by a German company, won the Silver Lion. And Fatih Akin's Soul Kitchen was a surprise success. We start our Venice coverage with Akin's funky, feel-good love story.
Even saying goodbye has a funny side in Fatih Akin's new film. Zinos bids farewell to his girlfriend, who's heading to Shanghai to become a foreign correspondent. He'd like to go along if it weren't for the grease pit he calls a restaurant, his soul kitchen.
Frikadellen, Backfisch, Spaghetti in Sahnesoße, Spinat in Sahnesoße, Pommes in Sahnesoße. Den Mist koche ich nicht.
Ich denke, du suchst einen Job.
Eine Hure? So eine Hure ist eine Hure. Ich bin ein Koch.
Verstehe. Da ist die Tür.
Zinos needs a new cook, but his first choice, a 3-star chef, is a full-scale diva.
Hey, warte mal 2 Sekunden. Mir schmeckt mein Essen auch nicht, aber den Leuten schmeckt's.
Die Leute wissen nicht, was schmeckt. Die Leute, die haben Löcher im Bauch. Und diese Löcher stopfen sie mit Dreck.
So ist eben das System.
Bist du Opportunist?
Nein, aber wie soll ich das bezahlen, hä? Das ist hier kein Feinschmecker-Tempel.
But it's surprising what one can do with the same ingredients and a few added tricks.
Ausverkauf. Es wird verkauft, was nicht verkauft werden kann. Falsche Leidenschaften. Eine Illusion. Augenwischerei. Und die Völlerei. Hier. 45 €.
Toll. Wollen wir das auf die Karte setzen?
Fatih Akin and his actors in Venice. They're in a partying mood. Audiences loved Soul Kitchen. But the director found making a light comedy was a lot harder than serious drama.
Pain is a lot more universal than humor. If I have, I don't know, a mother and her child, and the child dies, that's a pain that everyone understands. In Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in America, everywhere. Humor is different, because humor is often linked to language and a specific mentality.
In many scenes, Akin uses visual gags to overcome the language barrier, or he uses a language that everyone can understand.
Die Frauen müssen tanzen, Mann, ich kenne deine Scheißplatten nicht. Und was sind das alles hier für Knöpfe? Was ist da los? Das hier vielleicht?
Nimm die.
Welches Lied, Mann, welches Lied?
Drei.
Zinos' brother, fresh out of jail, tries his hand as DJ in the Soul Kitchen. Star Moritz Bleibtreu pokes fun at his own on-screen macho image.
Comedy is the blue ribbon discipline, both for directors and actors. I think it's a disgrace and a shame that the big awards and the Oscars always go to films where no one ever laughs.
Not so in Venice.
Soul Kitchen, de Fatih Akin.
Soul Kitchen won a special jury prize. The German director was very pleased.
Grazie. Grazie mille. Thank you very much. Grazie mille. Grazie. Thank you.
Another German winner was Women Without Men. It's the story of 4 Iranian women trying to break free from the constraints of a male-dominated society. It's 1953. There's a democratically elected government in Tehran. But it's not long before the old ways return when the Shah, with the help of the military, seizes power.
صاحب این باغ کیه؟
مسئله چیه جناب سربان؟
پرسیدم صاحب این باغ کیه؟
بنده هستم. فرمایشتون چیه؟
Shirin Neshat portrays the military as disgusting parasites, eating away at the system from within and repressing any form of self-determination. The Iranian director and video artist searched for partners in Europe to make her powerful and ambitious film.
I don't think she could have found them in America. Germany, but Europe in general, is very unusual in this regard. Film is seen as an art form and, as such, is properly supported.
Shirin Neshat hurls her female characters back and forth between realistic and surreal conflicts. But the theme is always the fight for freedom and democracy. The director won Venice's Silver Lion for her visually striking film.
I'm about to faint. This is so emotional for me.
I'm so happy we made this movie. With Shirin Neshat's images, it's become a very poetic film, but one that still has a political component.
Women Without Men was undoubtedly one of the highlights of a very strong Venice Film Festival, a German production of a kind that's rarely seen.
Our shortcuts include a dark satire on the media business and a documentary on endangered whales. But we start with cool boys and fast cars.
Fahr nicht so dicht dran, Mann. Geht's noch auffälliger? Was denn? Ich fahr unauffällig.
Ja klar, 5 Typen in Lederjacken und eine Dog im Auto. Super unauffällig.
The gang's called Rocks. Their hood is Berlin. They're always on the move. And they're always broke.
Rocks sind eigentlich so...
Rocks are really like they're really a cool gang. You know, really cool. But they're funny too. They like to stir up trouble and have fun doing it.
Provozieren auch sehr gerne und haben auch Spaß dabei.
The rival gang are the Killers.
Chris, komm her. Lass dich umarmen.
Chris is just fresh out of jail, but his problems are just starting.
Gut siehst du aus.
Was willst du, Rico?
Na, was wohl? Mein Geld. Denkst du, ich bin einer, der Witze macht?
Nein.
Hältst du mich für einen Clown oder was?
Nein.
The gang's in trouble, but then...
Hi, ich bin...
Flo, ich weiß.
Flo falls for a nice little rich girl. But his brother Chris needs his help and money.
Nein! Du guckst dich ein bisschen in dem Haus rum und bringst ein bisschen was mit. Sowas kannst du nicht von mir verlangen. Die Alten von dir haben genügend Kohle. Sag mal, bist du bescheuert? Ich kann die doch nicht einfach beklauen.
Gangs is a familiar mix of genre cliches with plenty of action, humor, and a big old-fashioned love story.
The legendary Strait of Gibraltar. Cargo ships pass through here every day. It's one of the world's most important shipping routes. But what most people don't know, the strait is also an important passageway for dolphins and whales. The documentary The Last Giants shows these creatures in all their natural glory, but also shows their daily struggle for survival. Again and again, whales collide with ships and die. Swiss animal rights activist Katharina Heyer wants the world to pay attention to their plight. She organizes whale-watching tours to collect money to build a whale hospital on the Moroccan coast.
We'll be right there for every stranded whale that's still breathing. We'll take them in and try and save them.
The Last Giants is a film about uncontrolled shipping routes and environmental devastation, about profit and greed, and about one woman's fight to protect the ocean habitat and wildlife.
I love the whales, that's obvious. I know them and I belong here. I belong to them. I don't want to be anywhere else.
The Last Giants is a look at a previously unknown natural paradise that's under constant threat.
Shortcut to Hollywood is what I'm looking for.
With this horrible tune, 3 Germans hope to storm the US pop charts. They don't have talent, but they do have a plan. They're going to kill their singer, live on American TV. The perfect PR stunt. It's only a question of when to schedule the show for the maximum effect.
And finally, Los Angeles. John's death on April the 1st.
Ich finde es ein bisschen früh.
Ja, am Wochenende danach ist scheiße, sagt Paula. Da ist die Rede vom Präsidenten. I think we took Entscheidung.
Decision.
Shortcut to Hollywood.
The plan works. As the execution date nears, their song hits #1. Shortcut to Hollywood is a bitter satire on fame, success, and reality TV shows.
They're all about showing conflict, getting people to cry, showing people as they fail, pandering to the audience's voyeurism.
There's just one problem. The singer likes being famous. Suddenly, he doesn't want to die. But the show must go on.
Ich würde so gern unsterblich sein. Ich habe Angst, dass man mich vergisst.
Here I am, standing tall, and I know still I've lost it all, but my heart is making.
Radical, tragic, and hilarious, the film's only flaw is that these days, the real reality shows are even worse.
Hildegard von Bingen was the Dark Age equivalent of a pop star. In a world dominated by the Catholic Church, she broke all the rules. She was a mystic and a scientist, an environmentalist, feminist, author, composer, and visionary. The life of Hildegard von Bingen has long fascinated director Margarethe von Trotta. Now she has brought that life to the big screen.
Ich möchte, dass mir jeder ein Kraut zeigt, das sie schon kennt. Schöllkraut. Und? Das ist gut gegen Warzen. Schwester Bertha? Reinfahren. Gut gegen Rheuma und Gicht. Das ist die Schafgabe für die Wundheilung. Gut. Aber die Pflanzen und Steine können ihre Heilkraft nur entfalten, wenn der Mensch eins ist. Mit der Natur. Und mit Gott. Erst muss unsere Seele heil werden. Und dann kann der Körper folgen.
A scholar and a philosopher, Hildegard of Bingen was far ahead of her time. She was also a deeply religious nun who had mystic visions.
Mein Gott, mich zu erretten. Herr, mir zu helfen. Ich habe Dinge gesehen, die andere Menschen nicht gesehen haben. Und ich hörte eine Stimme sagen, ich bin das lebendige Licht, das alles durchleuchtet. Du, o Mensch, hast den Auftrag, das Verborgene zu offenbaren. Schreib auf, was du hörst und siehst.
Director Margarethe von Trotta's films have often dealt with women's issues. And for years she wanted to make a movie about the famous medieval abbess.
To put it in modern terms, she's a multi-talent, a woman with a very rich interior life and many talents, which for her, of course, come from God. And how this woman brings these talents to life and exploits them. She managed very early on to make her talents known to the outside world. She became a mouthpiece, a voice. I've always thought I may have been a voice for many women who don't have one. But she had a voice. Her voice was like a trumpet. She always called herself the trumpet of God. And maybe I'm a bit more like a little wooden recorder.
Das lebendige Licht hat mir in einer Schau die Stätte gezeigt, wo wir unsere neue Wohnstadt errichten sollen.
Und wo soll das sein?
Wo die Nahe in den Rhein mündet, auf dem Rupertsberg.
Das ist Besitztum des Grafen Bernhard von Hildesheim.
Wir werden in keine fremden Besitztümer einbrechen.
Und wie willst du dieses Besitztum erwerben?
Durch die Schenkungen unserer Familien?
Die Schenkungen haben Sie diesem Kloster gemacht.
Ja, aber zum großen Teil deswegen, weil die heilige Jutta sich hier aufhielt. Und jetzt bin ich es, die von den Menschen verehrt wird.
Thanks to her intelligence and diplomacy and the power of her visions, which were even recognized by the Pope, Hildegard managed to implement her plans. She founded her own monastery, unimaginable for a woman in the 12th century. Von Trotta tells the story in an unhurried style, with a fascinating Barbara Sukowa in the role of Hildegard.
She was able to preach, which no woman was allowed to do. She traveled, she founded her own cloister, and she composed music and studied nature, and basically pushed the boundaries of what a woman of the time could normally do.
Margarethe von Trotta did a lot of research on her subject. With its historically precise sets and costumes, the film has an authentic feel.
Meine Familie hat mich nicht zu dir geschickt, damit ich mir meine Hände ruiniere. Ora et labora, ihr kennt die Regel.
Wir wollen auch nicht länger auf Strohsäcken schlafen wie die Stallknechte.
Es wird die Zeit kommen, wo wir uns wieder schmücken können.
But the film is a portrait of a woman, not just a saint. When the young nun Richardis von Stade enters the convent, Hildegard's feelings for her are not only motherly.
Wie alt bist du? 16. Und du glaubst, dass du den Alltag in einem Kloster wirst bestehen können? Ja. Richardis, in Gegenwart der hier versammelten Schwestern und Brüder frage ich dich, gelobst du, diesem Kloster und unserer Gemeinschaft die Treue zu halten? In guten und bösen Tagen.
Ja, ich gelobe es. Ich liebe dich so sehr.
When Richardis leaves the convent to become an abbess somewhere else, Hildegard's world collapses.
She had achieved everything. She was recognized as a seer. She had founded her own convent. By now, she was used to getting what she wanted. And then suddenly, in love, she couldn't. It was a tremendous blow.
Richard, das ist meine Tochter.
She did behave like a fury. And since I've always been a very possessive and jealous person myself, I could understand her quite well.
In this quiet film, Margarethe von Trotta has managed to avoid sensationalism.
Eile, mein Gott, mich zu erretten. Herr, mir zu helfen.
This is a complex and sensitive portrayal of convent life in the Middle Ages and the biography of a very remarkable woman.
Today we're giving away a little tribute to our city of Berlin. In Berlin Calling, you can feel the pulse of the city. It's the story of the rise and fall of a party DJ played by real-life club star Paul Kalkbrenner. For a chance to win, just write to us with your critique of our show. Here's our email address: Kino kino@dw-world.de. We're back in October with Pope Joan, an epic dark age drama based on the bestseller by Donna Cross. It's the story of the legendary Johanna von Ingelheim, who became the first and only woman elected pope. That's next time on Kino. See you then.